Hey, g'day guys, it's Adam from Video Show Me How. And in this video, we are continuing the build, the final build on the D-Max. We're a couple of videos in, there's a few bits and bobs clearly going on that's changed on the D-Max. So follow along the series if you haven't already. We are up to this section here, and that is installing one of Tag's XR, their extreme recovery tow bars to the back of the rig. Obviously we need something going on underneath here, being that we no longer have a tub, we no longer have the old TJM bar. So today we're going to be having a red hot look at this guy, which is absolute beef. I'm super excited to install this one. And then of course, a bit of a how-to on how to install one of the Tag XR bars to the back of your D-Max or four-wheel drive. So without further ado, let's get started. So if you are going from a tub to a tray back or a canopy or anything like that, or maybe you've just got a cab chassis, you are going to need one of these styles of the tow bars. And if you suss out the factory looking things that hang down so low they're basically scraping on the ground, they're no good, and you definitely want to at least consider something like this. This is the Tag XR, and it is their extreme recovery. This thing is this is absolute beefcake, and I was pretty keen to check one of these out. There are a few others on the market, but they are pretty hefty when it comes in on the old kgs. So still looking to keep the D-Max reasonably lightweight. Maybe not lightweight, but you know what I mean. All of the weight matters. So this guy I thought was a really good compromise between beefcake. If you have a look in here, it is an absolute monster as far as the girthiness of all of this. Everything is super high quality, really good powder coat on everything. It is super thick steel, which is what we like to see. And even stuff like this, right? We'll have a bit of a look once it's all on there. But even tapered edges for your soft shackles. You guys, long-term followers, I know I'm a big fan of that. And everything else is just gusseted to the nth degree and has even little nice plates on here that you'll see when we get it installed. Plenty of positions where we can put all of our wiring looms and bits and pieces. The other really cool thing that I liked about the kit is the fact you literally get everything you need. No need to use the old manky bolts. I mean, I guess you could, but you get brand spankers. Everything is, of course, rated like crazy, ready to carry the 3.5 tons. It is a working load limit of 4.5 tons as well, as far as the recovery side of things, and you retain all of your factory stuff. So, and you get everything, even the old split pins, a couple of D shackles there, your tow ball, and you get this pretty beefcake drop tow ball as well to, or the hitch to go into the tow bar itself. So pretty awesome in the fact that you get everything you need to get this guy installed. So that's our next step really, is to work out what we need to do to get this guy bolted up there. So step number one is to get everything laid out. Now this is a bit of beefcake, so it is a little bit weighty. You may need some assistance putting it up there, but the first thing I reckon is just to get everything all laid out. You are going to need it in this orientation. Of course, you've got the main beef, the tow bar itself, but then you've got these little wings, and they go in this orientation. So you want the little inside plate that needs to go facing inwards, and then similarly on the outside. So that's what you want to start with, is getting these guys all bolted up. I'd recommend not going maniac tight for the moment, just keeping them tight, but you know, a little bit of loose, a little bit of flexibility, so that you've got a little bit of wiggle room when we go to bolt up the big guy. All right, so that's all done. We're on to our next step, and we've got this guy nice and loose, which is still good. We have number 1, 2, and 3 all bolted in. Our next step, 5 bolts aside, is to have a look under here, and we have a couple of little extra guys. But the difference is, you can see in this guy, we have some captive M12 nuts to hang onto our bolts. There is none inside for our 2 bottom ones. So what we need to do is we need to get these fancy little guys. So these are our little welded nut plate bolt with a wire thingy. I'm sure that's an official name, but ultimately what we need to do, we can bend this guy out a little bit once I have a second hand and not holding the old camera. And these go through, we can just wiggle it down through the plate so that these two, the bolts go down and nuts on the bottom on this one. So same as before, we can start tightening a little bit tighter, but still not full tension just yet, just to keep it a little bit loose so that when we put the main event, this big guy, into place, we've got a little bit of wiggle room to make sure that we can bolt it up, no worries at all. Once we've got it in place, that's when we can torque it all down for the final spec. All right, you're doing well. We're up to our next step, so you should have at this point 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as far as our nuts and bolts go. Same on this side, so the next thing is getting this big guy on. So you should have 4 bolts for the left and 4 bolts for the right ready to go. So you can get those down ready to go. This probably depends on whether you are soloing this like yours truly or not, because this guy is a bit weighty. I think we're about 40 kilos there, so just be ready. And the final thing, just have handy, is your spacer plates here. If you're running on a D-Max, you're going to need one of these guys that just kind of slots in there to make sure everything is all nice and aligned. So that's our next step, is get these guys ready. Get a couple of these guys with the nuts removed if you're soloing this. If you've got a partner, then happy days. Someone can do a bit of benching with this guy, hold him in place. Get a couple of your bolts ready to go without the nut on the end, and just a single washer. Get a few just like that, because then you can bench this guy up, hold him in place, and then just throw a few bolts in on either side so it sort of holds it into position. Then you can go ahead and put the rest of your nut and bolts on. Right, so our next step, we're all in place. I'll definitely not show you any footage of me putting this on, because it was far from graceful, let me tell you. But resting it on the old knees and sort of hovering in place with the bolts through did the trick. So next step is to torque these guys into spec. Confirming what you have is you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the ends, and then 3 further down the chassis rail, and then your lucky 2 underneath. So there should be a bunch on either side. These are 1.25 M12 bolts, which means you need 101 Newton meters. Don't skip this step. So make sure you grab yourself your torque wrench, set it to the right torque setting, and make sure that these are torqued into place. You don't want to stuff around with this, particularly that if you're going to be towing, you've got 3.5 tons sitting on the back here that you're pulling along, 350 kilos down here, or like it says here, 4.5 ton these suckers are rated to when you're using that equalizer strap. So you don't want to be stuffing with this part. Make sure you use a torque wrench. 101 is where it's at. And we're all torqued up. Check it out. Absolute beefcake. Loving this thing. Definitely you can one-man it if you need to. Help lifting this guy up is always going to be a good thing. But there you go. What do you think? I reckon this thing is pretty beefcake. We've got a couple of things to go, and then I'll just give you a quick overview. You will see that they have thoughtfully put on both sides, on this side and over on this guy, you have a little plate that you can mount all sorts of stuff to. So for example, all of this malarkey that I've had zip tied down the back here forever, I'm gonna dig that out now. The next main thing that you're gonna have then is your flat trailer pin. Now this is an Isuzu module, just a 7-pin job, but that's the upside of having these. And then, of course, your trailer ECU. Still blows me away. You need an ECU just to run trailer stuff. But anyway, I'm sure there's complexity with that. I'll learn one day. These guys here, getting back to it though, are your little plates. So you've got some flexibility on where you want to mount your bits and pieces. So I'm probably going to keep everything all over the one side probably. And you can see we've got some nice little cutouts there ready to roll. I'm probably going to stick this guy just in there, something like that. Maybe right in the middle, not sure, but that guy's going to live on one of them. And then on the other side, you'll see in the upcoming videos as part of the build series, particularly when we put the canopy on here, this guy is going to have a solar input, but then also a 50 amp ando out, so I can run it to a trailer or something like that. So that's the cool thing with this, is you've got flexibility. So that's probably your next step. You sort out your wiring, install this guy wherever you need it to, and have it all nice and tucked away. Zip ties are the key there. And there we go. It looks a little bit like that. Cape dust is definitely optional. No matter how much I clean this thing, I can't get rid of it. But there's our 7-pin trailer. It's all nice and secured. Secured the ECU up the top there as well. So it's all secure and up out of the way. So only forward driving, nothing getting damaged there. And then next step is just to put your shackles. The rest of the hardware, we can get our drop hitch here as well. That slides straight in there. It's nice and snug there as well, so we're not getting any rattling going on. We can slot through this guy. Looks like there's plenty of space there too if you do want to run one of those lock versions of those, but that guy can pop onto there. And then finally we can grab our actual ball. This guy comes with it. Pretty good looking thing and nice and shiny. This guy needs to be torqued to 300 Newton meters, which is out of control, super tight, but it's just a matter of getting this guy down into place just like that. Lock, washer, nut, and torque it into place. You do have these nice big grab handles, so you can put a big spanner on there and torque it for all you're worth. And there we go. We are all installed. We've got everything all in play. We've got our little knuckle. We've got all the bits and bobs. I reckon this guy looks pretty good, and I love the height of it. Like I was saying, I'll grab a tape, and just give you a bit of a gander. So we are coming in from the ground, what's that, 680-ish? We are on a little bit of a slope here on the driveway, but 680 odd-ish in the middle there, close to 700. That is pretty good. We've got tons of clearance, obviously less if we've got the drop hitch on, but whether you're running that while you're actually forward driving, that sort of stuff, it's going to be up to you. And the other thing I just wanted to show, we just got one of my soft shackles here. This is really cool, and I reckon not every tow bar or recovery, something that's called sort of a recovery, does stuff like this. So I reckon that's pretty awesome a tag. You can see how it's got the little scallops. The reason for that is when you are running a soft shackle off this guy or putting your bridle on, you're not going to damage your Dyneema rope because it's got those little edges rounded off, which is pretty thoughtful and really good to see. Well, there you go. Let me know what you reckon of this guy. That is the full install of the Tag XR. Their full, really high clearance, but also recovery tow bar that will give me all the rated stuff for towing in the future, but then also pulling out Hiluxes and Patrols with our recovery points here as well. So pretty awesome bit of kit. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the button, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things, and keep an eye out for the final build of the D-Max. It is well underway. There's a few other things that you may not have seen by the time this comes out, but depending on when you're watching it, this is the Tag install to make sure we've got towing capacity and recovery points on the rear. From what you're seeing here right now, the next step is really the full canopy. We've got some new side steps that are sitting just under there. They're about to go on there as well. There's a new front bar on there with the Ultra Winch sitting in there. And then obviously the full kit out, the full build of everything that goes in the back of the new canopy. I'm excited to show you guys because it's a little bit different to some of the other ones out there. And I'm interested in people's thoughts and feedback. But that's all for this video. As always, guys, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.